approaching and we have so much to look forward to. I absolutely love this time of year because I feel like there's so much on the horizon, and I just absolutely love all of the creature comforts that autumn time brings, like cinnamon tea, candles, books. There really is so much to treasure and enjoy. So today I wanted to sit down because I've been having just the best time dreaming up different ideas and DIYs and sort of planning and gathering inspiration for this season. So I thought we could just have a little time together and go through it all. I want to start out with my fall playlist because I've added quite a few songs to it, and I will continue to add more through the season, but I wanted to share it with you in case you were in need of a fall playlist. And I love this because it's such a mix of course, those alternative folky songs that you would just listen to on a road trip through New England, but then you also have those singer-songwriter feels. We have some classical music, we have some oldies. It is a great mix, if I say so. And of course, if you have any song requests, I would love to hear them because I really just want to make this playlist as long as possible, but of course make it very intentional so that every time we put it on, it just makes it feel like fall. So wanted to share that with you. And then another thing that I love to do every single season, but also for every event we have coming up, and really just anything I can find an excuse to make a mood board for, I will. So this is my autumn mood board, and here we have, you know, some outfit ideas, some fall landscapes, some cozy tea and coffee situations. I just love looking at this because mood boards are great. Whenever you feel like a lack of inspiration, you can reference back and maybe gather just different hopeful glimmers that you didn't have before. So I wanted to share this inspiration board, and something that I've just fallen in love with more and more each day are bookstores, libraries, books, and that is just something I want to incorporate even more to this season through decor, through activities, visiting the library more, visiting bookstores. I just feel like that's a beautiful way to celebrate. And I love this quote, "The gentle things in life, big sweaters, books, candles, cups of tea." Even just with those 4 phrases, they instantly make me feel cozy, and I just absolutely love this. So I highly recommend making a mood board if you haven't already. I think it's a great place to start as we're, you know, approaching the season. Not quite there yet, but approaching. It's a great way to get excited and get hopeful. So we have that, of course. And while we have some outfit inspo on here, I also want to share some autumn accessories and fall outfit components that I'm excited to style this year. So I recently shared in a vlog, I picked up this pair of ballet slippers, and I love these shoes. I feel like they're such a great transitional piece for summer to fall because they're a lot more lightweight than, you know, a pair of boots. So if you live in a warm climate like I do in Florida, this would be a great pair of shoes to style. So I love the ballet flats, and then some other that I wrote down are big sweaters. Naturally, that's a must. And I love these flower chokers. I think they're so cute, they're so on trend. And you know, we have scarves, which are great and I love, but in Florida you're not always going to want to put on a scarf. It's actually very rare that we have scarf weather. So I think these are a good shoe-in, you know, to give us a little accessory there, but not a big bulky scarf. And also yarn in your hair. I loved doing this in summertime, but I absolutely want to carry this through to fall, and just getting different pieces of yarn that are more autumnal inspired, more of those warm colors. I just love having the texture in my hair. I think it's so cute for braids, or a little bun would be adorable, and it's just great to head to the craft store, pick out any color that speaks to you, and then you can also use the yarn as an accessory. But I also plan to probably incorporate it in little decor pieces, tiny piece of yarn at the end of a taper candle holder. Who knows? I feel like there's a lot of possibilities with that. So I love that. And then lastly, something I want to try is to add different pops of red within our autumnal colors and outfits, maybe red lipstick like Miss Taylor Swift. I think that would be adorable. Or yeah, just different pops of red, which is not something I normally do, but I think it's really cute and something I'm wanting to try to style this season. So we have that, and then what else? So some decor ideas, which I am so looking forward to decorating. I plan to decorate next week, and again, I really just find books so charming, so I love to, you know, have more books lying out. I feel like that just creates such a cozy atmosphere, and I have some more decor elements that are book themed that I want to try to incorporate. And our little library, I want to give this an autumn refresh. I'm still trying to think about how I want to do this. Maybe add some mushrooms. I need to see if there's little miniature pumpkins I could incorporate. I'm sure there are. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that. So looking forward to that. And then also a few of you actually sent me this book nook, this light up book nook that I'm really excited to put together. Essentially, it's this miniature little scene, and you nestle it between your books on a shelf, and it just looks so whimsical and charming, and I'm really looking forward to probably styling that in one of my shelves in my office, nestled between some books. I think that's absolutely adorable and perfect for this time of year. I wonder if I'll end up leaving it out though, because I feel like it could translate to multiple seasons. We'll see, we can decide that later. And what else? Oh, I'm looking forward to decorating our bedroom for the first time this year. We ended up decorating it for Christmas time, and just ending the day with a Christmas quilt and some twinkle lights, it really added so much joy to the season. So I'm excited to add some elements to our bedroom and excited to share those ideas soon. So that is always a joy for me, is decorating our home. And since we live in such a warm tropical climate, I feel like that's how, a really major way, honestly, that I celebrate this season and time of year, or any season, is kind of creating an atmosphere for ourselves where we feel those changes, because of course our actual weather doesn't always translate the seasons. So we have that. And then I want to go through our bucket list from last year. We will absolutely make a 2023 bucket list coming up, but I want to start just getting the ideas flowing, and a lot of the ideas will keep year after year because they're our fall traditions, but I want to go through it and then we can brainstorm other ones as the weeks go by. So first and foremost, have a fall picnic. Love that. Love a picnic all year round. Carve or paint a pumpkin, visit a pumpkin patch, grow or pick a sunflower. We have our sunflowers growing. Thankfully, they seem to be doing well. We planted them maybe a month ago at this point, so we have some solid seedlings. I'm hoping for the best. Cozy up by a bonfire, bake a fall treat, enjoy a cup of homemade apple cider, roast pumpkin seeds, thrift a cozy sweater, go for a moonlight stroll, spooky outdoor movie night. I don't think we did that last year, so we'll have to try to make that happen this year, but I am not a spooky lover. I'm really not. If I watch a spooky movie or if I read a thrilling spooky book, I get very invested and enthralled, but afterwards it just leaves a pit in my stomach and it does not make me feel good. So maybe Hocus Pocus will be our spooky movie, something like that. Which, speaking of, I'm going to go on a little tangent because I've started a list of autumn movies that I've never seen that I want to try to watch this year, and I'd love, if you have any recommendations, I'd love to add them to the list. I've never seen Practical Magic, so we need to watch that. Okay, there's also a movie called Sweet November. I have no idea what it's about, no idea where I even heard about that, but I added it to my list. Autumn in New York. I know that's a song by Ella Fitzgerald that I love, but didn't know it was a movie, so I want to check that out as well. So maybe we can do an outdoor movie night with one of those films. Okay, read a seasonal book. We're gonna do that. Make homemade chili. I made a lentil soup yesterday, and I feel like that's the kickoff of soup season. This time of year, I'd love to make a soup every single week. It's just the best. DIY autumn candles. Admire fall foliage. Love, love, love. That just, so many activities, and that's why I say this every season, but that's why I love to make bucket lists so much, because it just kind of aligns you and gives you this list that you can refer to all throughout the year, or the season. So if you have a night coming up or a weekend coming up where you don't really have anything planned or on the agenda and you want something to look forward to, I feel like this is just great to have in your back pocket so you can reference it and think of something fun to do by yourself or with your loved ones. So I'm a big list lover, but a big bucket list lover, because it's just a great way to, again, celebrate. So we have that, and again, we will make our bucket list again. Oh, something else that I want to add to our new bucket list this year is I want to do those mystery books. So essentially, you take a book and you cover it with wrapping paper, and you can either give it as a gift, or I think I want to add it to our little free library. So I would cover the book in the wrapping paper, and I would write the genre of book and maybe like a little clue or something, and then someone could pick it up and it would be a surprise what book they're reading. I just think that's cute. And on Pinterest, I also saw someone wrap up the book like that, and then they made a little pocket in the wrapping paper and they put a little tea packet and maybe a bookmark. It was precious, and I absolutely want to do that soon. So we'll have to remember that for the weeks coming up. Okay, now we've almost covered everything. I'm sure there will be more tangents, but I want to go ahead and dive into our fall reading list. So this is my first year where I've made reading lists in the past, but I almost wanted to make this one a little more tangible and something that I can achieve, because in the past I've just gotten recommendations and sourced different books, and I had like 20 different book ideas. But I wanted to consolidate a little bit and hopefully be able to cross all of these books off this season. That's the goal, at least. We'll see. Something that I love too, reading is great, but you know, for me, I'm personally not a speed reader, so it does take up quite a bit of time. So I love to listen to books on tape, and sometimes if I start reading a book, I'll also at the same time listen to it on tape during the day, and then snuggle up with it at night before bed and continue to read it, and that just helps me be more efficient with crossing off different books. So just an idea that works for me. So the first one on the list is Pride and Prejudice, a classic, a beloved classic, and I love this Penguin Classic edition of Pride and Prejudice. I actually have the full Jane Austen collection of the Penguin Classics, and this is beautiful, and this is a great example of a wonderful book that I would want to keep in my personal library, but it also can serve as such a cute decor piece. You know, put it in your kitchen near your backsplash, or put it on your coffee table. It is just beautiful, and this color just screams autumn to me. So this Pride and Prejudice is actually our book club pick of the month. And I've read it before, but I do plan on brushing up a little bit, maybe listening to it on tape before our meeting. But such a great book, and I feel like reading classics this time of year is just incredibly comforting. And yeah, I love Jane Austen for so many reasons, but I appreciate how her books aren't stressful. Like reading them, to me, they just make me feel more calm. I love how she put so much emphasis on the daily banter of the characters and just the simplicity of their daily lives, but also the complexities of it all as well, and just the different dynamics between relationships. I just love her writing, and think it's really inspiring, so highly recommend. And first on the list, oh, and then we have another classic that I have not read. This is Jane Eyre, and I've had this book for months and months now. I told one of my friends, Sejal, in my book club, I'm like, okay, you'll order Jane Eyre and I'm gonna order Jane Eyre, and we're gonna read it together. We were gonna do like a side book club within our book club because we both really wanted to read this, but I got sidetracked and I never have. So we're gonna try to cross it off this year. Let me know if you've read it and what you think. And then this book is called September. So as I was trying to source books, I thought potentially this would be a good one. Even just the cover, another great example, is a book that's beautiful enough to use as decor. And with all of these books, They, again, are not spooky, hopefully. I've only read Pride and Prejudice, so I can't vouch for them in that way, but I tried to pick more cozy books that maybe have a little bit of mystery or have those love stories, but they won't keep you up at night. And, you know, which those spooky thrillers, I understand lots of people love them, and again, I get into them too once I start. I love a cliffhanger, but you gotta protect your peace, you know? So this one, let me give you a little overview, quick little overview. This one's actually the more deep one out of our other ones, well, out of these three at least. So let me give you a little snippet. September is an extraordinary month in Rosamund's native Scotland. When a brief but glorious summer is ending, the long grey winter has yet to begin. It is a month when marriages are proposed and break up, when promises are made, hearts are broken, and long buried family secrets come to light. But as May turns to June and the summer commences, fate propels them all towards Scotland, as well as their inevitable and often surprising destinies. Interesting. My curiosity is piqued. Okay, next up is the bookstore or the bookshop on the corner by Jenny Colgan. So last year I actually checked out one of her books from the library, and it was called The Bookshop on the Shore. So I'm excited to read this one, The Bookshop on the Corner. I love this summary. I think it makes me excited. Nina Redmond is a literary matchmaker. Pairing a reader with that perfect book is her passion, and also her job. Or at least it was. Until yesterday, she was a librarian in the hectic city, but now the job she loved is no more. Determined to make a new life for herself, Nina moves to a sleepy village many miles away. There she buys a van and transforms it into a mobile bookshop that she drives from neighborhood to neighborhood, changing one life after another with the power of storytelling. From helping her grumpy landlord deliver a lamb to sharing picnics with a charming train conductor who serenades her with poetry, Nina discovers there's plenty of adventure, magic, and soul in a place that's beginning to feel like home. A place where she just might be able to write her own happy ending. That sounds perfect. That sounds so good. Really looking forward to that. That one might be one of my top ones, or my first picks. Okay, this one, October Kiss. This is based off of a Hallmark movie. So basically that's all I need to tell you. You already know what to expect. But again, like, look at this cover. Even just this cover gets me so excited, and I feel like it'll be really atmospheric and really set the scene, and hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. But essentially, it's a couple that'll probably fall in love, an unexpected couple that will probably fall in love. So we have that, and then this is beautiful. I've never seen this book before, but as I was looking at different ones, they started recommending ones to me, and I thought this would be interesting. So it's Of Literature and Lattes, and here's a little bit about it. After fleeing her hometown 3 years earlier, Alyssa never planned to return. Then the Silicon Valley startup she worked for collapsed and turned her world upside down. She is broke, under FBI investigation, and without a place to go. Having exhausted every option, she comes home to Winsome, Illinois to regroup and move on quickly as possible. Yet, as friends and family welcome her back, Alyssa begins to see a place for herself in this small Midwestern community. Meanwhile, Jeremy Mitchell moved from Seattle to Winsome to be near his daughter and to open the coffee shop he's been dreaming of for years. Problem is, the business is bleeding money and he's not quite sure why. When he meets Alyssa, he senses an immediate connection, but what he needs most is someone to help him save his floundering business. After asking for help, he wonders if something might grow between them, but forces beyond their control soon complicate their already complex lives, and the future they both hoped for is not at all what they've anticipated. With the help of Winsome's small-town charm and quirky residents, Alyssa and Jeremy discover the beauty and romance of second chances. Also sounds like a Hallmark movie. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, lastly, this one, I will say, isn't necessarily super autumn inspired. I'm about to be covered in books over here. But this one was recommended to me numerous times, and I just absolutely am so excited to read it. I'm actually 20 pages in. I started it the other night, and I'm already enthralled in it, truly. It is beautiful. So, let me give you a little overview. It's not a fictional book. It's almost like a an ode to nature and earth. Let me just read a little snippet. As a botanist, Robin Wall Kimmerer has been trained to ask questions of nature with the tools of science. As a member of the citizen Potawatomi Nation, she embraces the notion that plants and animals are our oldest teachers. In Braiding Sweetgrass, Kimmerer brings these lessons of knowledge together to show that the awakening of wider ecological consciousness requires the acknowledgement and celebration of our reciprocal relationship with the rest of the living world. For only when we can hear the languages of other beings are we capable of understanding the generosity of the earth and learning to give our own gifts in return. Goosebumps. It is just so beautiful, and this book I feel like could translate for any season. I mean, maybe even springtime would be the most appropriate time of year to read this book, because springtime to me just symbolizes growth and life and celebrating earth, but it's always a beautiful time to celebrate earth, and I feel like even just in the first 20 pages it's helping me to be more in tune and be more aware and notice those small things and miracles of daily life and nature. So already absolutely loving this, and another great book to read before bed because it just makes me feel so much gratitude. And you know, the world can feel heavy and really harsh and cruel and terrible a lot of days, but just having reminders and books and tea and candles and all of this seemingly frivolous pieces of life, it just makes it all feel a lot softer and warmer, and that's why we're here. We're gonna just celebrate the season and celebrate autumn time together. But before we end this video, and while we are talking about books, I'm actually excited because I'm gonna do a giveaway. I love to do giveaways, especially this time of year, because I'm just so excited about everything and I want to share it all with you. So head to my Instagram if you'd like to enter, but I'm going to be sending out books from my fall reading list. I'll have more details on the Instagram post that I post on this day, so you can reference. I'll put the picture here, and I'll have the instructions on how to enter in my Instagram story, but I'll also pin a comment so you can see that. But regardless, I'll also leave a list of all my books for this season, as well as my mood board and all of that on my website, so you can reference it as the weeks pass by. But thank you all so much for watching. Again, really looking forward to all that's to come, and I really appreciate you all, and I'm excited to see you next.